And good morning. I'm Jack Minish with NBC2's Trash or Treasure. Well, this morning I have a circa 1930s Chinese ginger jar. Now, the question I posed to you earlier is, could possibly be this top be more valuable than the bottom? Well, I've got the answer for that in just a minute. Now, the two biggest export periods for Chinese cloisonnés were, let's say, the 1890s and the 1930s. As a matter of fact, Chinese products in general, porcelains, those type things. So this one, if we look at the bottom here, we'll see that this one is not marked at all. That's a pretty good indicator that it's probably from the 1930s. Newer wares usually say made in China. So, and it does have nice wear down there on the bottom also. We can see that. It's got some wear where it's been sitting around, being moved around on the shelf. So pretty good indicator this is 1930s. Now, price on something like this is probably to a collector. Prices are down, so it's probably $125 someplace in there. But let me show you this. When I was doing some research for an estate sale that I had a really nice ginger jar in that particular estate sale. And what I want you to notice here, these are carved ginger jar lids. This first one up here, it's called, and these are from eBay, it's called an exceptionally carved large hardwood antique Chinese lid for a fine vase ginger jar. Now, notice it had 22 bids. It sold for $621.72 plus the shipping just for the lid, okay? And here's another one, if that didn't shock you enough. Look at this one. This one says, fine carved hardwood antique Chinese lid for fine vase ginger jar, 11 bids, $365.53 just for the lid. Here's another one, just to make the point. Large carved hardwood antique Chinese lid for fine vase ginger jar, 16 bids. Now that's a lot of bids these things are getting, $354.60. And then here's another one down here, and there's more. There's probably about 8 of these down there, but this is the last one. Very fine carved hardwood antique Chinese lid for vase ginger jar, 13 bids, $337.41. So what's going on? Why are these lids selling for so much? Well, I think I found the answer because I did a lot of research on this. Now, notice this ginger jar right here. Now, notice that it is a porcelain bottom right here. It says it's an antique estate fine, very rare, blue and white ginger jar with carved hardwood cover or lid. Okay, I think that's the key right there. If you had a fine Chinese dynasty type porcelain ginger jar base that the lid was already broken on, and the lids would have gotten broken more easily than the bases, let's say, and you had that, but you didn't have the top, now you could fit it with one of these finely carved wooden lids, and all of a sudden, now you've got, as long as it fit perfectly, now you've got the whole item. And notice this, what happens here. You got 6 bids on this, and now this jar sells for $632 because it looks right, and the lid and the porcelain are the same period. So, in other words, if I've got this one, now this one happens to be stone. This is probably a low quality jade, but notice it has no top. So if I had one of these wooden lids that I could put on there, then I could increase the value of this low jade ginger jar. I could increase that from, let's say, this is probably worth maybe $50, $75 the way it is. But all of a sudden, now, if I got this thing fitted up just right with the right lid, then this could be worth, let's say, $250, $300 someplace in there. I'm Jack Minish with NBC2's Trash or Treasure. We'll see you again next week.